color commentary will be back on Thursday. So, Mike, a little interesting here because you've got red in the building, which is part of the Trojans color scheme, but the seats are orange. I think they got a good deal on those. Kind of makes Monroe feel at home, though, because they've got that prominent orange in their color scheme.
Well, we do have the rubber match here with one team winning the first game and Snohomish or Monroe winning the first, Snohomish winning the second. So the other thing, if you take a look at the brackets, Mark, that's really a struggle is there are only 2 berths going to the regional tournament, and that's pretty difficult. So
yes.
There's going to be a couple of good teams that are going to be very unhappy that are not going to get to go. So this makes this game a very, very important game, Mark.
It sure does. As they're actually going through the official introductions down below, we're going to be taking a break here very shortly and get rolling with this. As this is just past 3 o'clock here on this really nice Saturday afternoon. Mike, we've been getting some excellent weather. Last year was quite amazing as far as the weather once we started to get towards the spring, and it carried right on through into the fall. Although I wouldn't mind just for the snowpack up high for it just to get a little snow up there, and maybe even a little bit of that down here just to really help for down the road when it comes to watering conditions and energy levels coming up later in the year.
Having lived in the Pacific Northwest most of my entire life, occasionally we do have those issues with the snowpack, and so that does create a problem in the summer. I want to thank you for providing me with the yoga ball to sit on, but I might have to stand up part of the game to see over the railing here.
Yeah, that's true. I may join you very shortly. And by the way, it is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's to you. I said that to our listeners earlier. And your lovely wife, Maggie, who is our excellent statistician, is on board with us. And would you like to do an on-air wish to her?
Yeah, I want to tell my wife how much I love her. And people were asking me about what exactly were you going to do on Valentine's Day. And I said, the most romantic date possible. She gets to keep stats at 2 high school basketball games. And they give me that look like, what are you talking about?
Well, we kind of get to live in a special world with what we do here. And my girlfriend Debbie and Mom will be here a little bit later on, and then Mom is actually going to go to a singing concert that Tom Lafferty and his group is going to be doing. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's take a break, and we're going to come back with tonight's play-by-play action featuring the Snohomish Panthers and the Monroe Bearcats. More on the way right after this.
With Mark Offit and Mike Buckles, ladies and gentlemen, this is
College for this district semifinal featuring the Monroe Bearcats and the Snohomish Panthers, as the Panthers will go from our left to right, Monroe from right to left, and the tip is controlled by Snohomish. Darian Riley will move the ball into front court here as we're up high in the loft on the track. It's a perfect vantage point. Madeline Smith gets it, gives quickly to Shaylee Harwood, lays it up, glass and good. It is 2-0 Snohomish to get us started early on here at Everett Community College. Go ahead, Mike.
1-4 high entry pass into Madeline Smith. They brought her out to the high post, hit the wing cutter on a beautiful backdoor, Mark.
I want to mention that the starting lineups tonight were presented to you by IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Let us help you. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, as Monroe has the ball in front court. They missed a shot off the right wing, and that was a miss by Alex Alexander. End up with a rebound. Van Brunt passes it up high, and there's going to be a shot fired by Ferreira, who does not connect on it, and the rebound is pulled down by Snohomish. Madeline Smith gets the board that time. Also, the opening tip-off right there just a couple of minutes ago, brought to you by Glass by Lund, family-owned since 1967. That is Glass by Lund. Our officials, Chad Gallagher, Ryan Taylor, and Dave Linder. So Snohomish with the ball. Driving on the right side is Harwood. Puts it up, comes off the rim. Panthers, Flitch gets the rebound, pushes a pass out to the left. It is to Brandvold. Brandvold hits a 12-footer off the left side, and it's 4-0 Snohomish.
Nice job on the offensive glass. Harwood unable to get that long layup. Good putback.
Driving in this time, Monroe. Amber Van Brunt steps into a hook shot. Left side comes hard off the glass. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Panthers, and it will be Monroe basketball. 6:29 left to go here in the first quarter. First game of our doubleheader at boys, Monroe and Snohomish. Right after this, also the district semifinal. Final will come up on Thursday. There's a shot put up. It is no good. Making the rebound that time was for the Panthers, Darian Riley. But the miss was by Jaden Alexander. Now Riley comes out of backcourt, looking around, passes up high. It's nearly deflected away, and finally it is, as it was intended for Flitch. Monroe gets the basketball. They go the other direction, and driving in, having the ball knocked away is Emily Donnelly.
Good attack.
Foul yet. It just goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Panthers.
Good attack in transition by Monroe that time, off of the steal. Also a good defensive play. Both teams still playing tough man-to-man defense.
Jaden Alexander finds Alex Alexander. Now to Ferreira. Ferreira drives in between a couple of players, loses a handle on it, and it's knocked out of bounds. Right there was Madeline Smith and Shaylee Harwood. It will go to the Bearcats with 5:56 left to go in the first quarter, and Snohomish leading 4-0 here at Everett Community College.
Yeah, Ferreira being fearless at 5'3", driving in amongst the talls, had that ball knocked away.
Now it's picked off by Harwood. Here she goes coast to coast the other direction. Drops one down low inside. Brandvold blocked out of there. Good block by the Monroe player. That looked like Van Brunt was in the mix there. Also right there was Alex Alexander. This time Madeline Smith misses a shot. It's going to be grabbed by Monroe quickly out of backcourt. They haven't scored yet. Here comes Ferreira, the senior. Puts it off the glass, right side, and it is good. 4-2 is the score.
Monroe has missed a couple of early chances, and Ferreira finally breaks the ice with the transition attack in the right hand. Good pressure defense by Monroe.
That's right. It's stolen by Donnelly away from Riley. Now Donnelly goes towards the basket, and we have a whistle on the court. Foul is coming up. It'll be our first foul of the game. It's going to be against Snohomish's Darian Riley, her first team foul.
One thing that Coach Chalfett talked about was that Donnelly is a soccer player, and that's a typical play for a soccer player. Soccer players typically play really good defense.
Alex Alexander from the foul line. Good! 2. Tied. 4-4. 5:04 left to go. Snohomish goes to inbound. It goes from Riley to Harwood. Now Smith. She finds Riley trying to come out of backcourt, picked up defensively by Donnelly. Drives the left side, shut off. Looking around. Now finally bounce past Smith. Oh, she found a lane. Drives to the basket, left side, and in. 2 points, Madeline Smith. Good looking play that time by the Panthers. Driving the other direction, and really great effort this time by Jaden Alexander. Left hand takes it through the middle and puts it in. 4-2. Tied again at 6 now.
Both teams quickly getting into their offensive sets. Monroe a little more with the transition. Riley having trouble for Snohomish.
Almost stolen away. Snohomish gets it back. It's Flitch. Flitch about throws it away. They go back and forth. It's Brandvold gets a handle. Great defense by the Monroe Bearcats. Now Snohomish trying to go inside, nearly throwing away Brandvold. Will get a handle on it. Jaden Alexander all over her. But Brandvold finally fires one up in desperation. Misses, gets her own rebound, puts it back up, misses again. And Monroe and Snohomish go for it one more time. We got a whistle. Looks going to be against the Panthers here.
A lot of action out there, Mark, right now.
That's on Harwood.
Intense defense by Monroe. It has flustered Snohomish. Snohomish having to take some wild shots at the end of the buzzer and getting offensive rebounds with some easy putback attempts, but they're rushing it.
All right, we are back, and it is 6-6 the score as the Monroe Bearcats have the ball in front court now. The foul was on Harwood. That was her second. Monroe tries to go inside. A substitution. Hannah Drivsden is into the game, and she went to Amber Van Brunt. And the foul this time is against Snohomish's Madison Pollock, who just checked in, her first third of the game against the Panthers team-wise. None against Monroe so far. There's Ferreira, drive to the basket. It is good off the inbounds pass. And the Bearcats have taken a 2-point lead as it switches for the first time, 8-6.
And Monroe has now made 4 straight hoops after missing their first 3 to take a little bit of a lead here. And they come back in that intense defense, Mark.
Snohomish in front court, a little frantic, a little loose, and they lose the ball. It's going to be Brandvold getting it. And will come out of backcourt. Make sure Ferreira got it from her, as we have now Ferreira coming out of backcourt with the basketball. Here she comes right side driving. Now kicks a pass up high, and that will be Alex Alexander. Misses the shot. Van Brunt gets the rebound. Here they go. Here comes the Bearcats as they try again. Donnelly with the ball between the circles. 3 minutes left in the quarter, and it is 8-6 Monroe here at Everett Community College. Stay close, go far right here at Everett Community College with the basketball. Ferreira tries to drive into the lane and loses it. You got a blocking foul coming against the Panthers. What a great pace.
So far, Ferreira has done a wonderful job of attacking the basket. She and Emily Donnelly of Monroe really attacking the rim, looking to either score or pitch off to one of their teammates who might be open. Pretty frantic pace right now. There's another sub in the game, Mark.
Here we go. Monroe will inbound right baseline, 8-6. They lead by 2 points. The foul was on Emily Preach. That will be her first and team foul number 4. Now Ferreira with the basketball. Passes up top, and this time it is going to be Alex Alexander. Drills one in from 15 feet out over on the right, making it 6. And Snohomish's Ken Roberts says, I want a timeout with a score 10-6. Monroe will take a timeout as well. 2:38 left to go in a very fast-paced first quarter. You are listening to coverage of basketball here tonight on STSPN, Western Conference Basketball, STSPN.com, and Fox Sports 1380. Okay, so I wrote that down.
Now, do we have a boys game after this? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, okay.
I thought you knew a doubleheader. Ten to 6, Monroe has taken the lead. Now Snohomish got out to a 4-0 lead, but then the Bearcats have come right back on him as Snohomish has had some trouble controlling the ball in their own end of the court. There's a shot way off the mark, followed by Madison Pollock. Missed, not connecting even close on that one. It's a pass from Brandvold, and Monroe gets the board. Here they come the other direction.
Well done by Harwood on the transition. Came down the middle, stopped at the foul line, just picture perfect, but Pollock unable to get the shot.
Van Brunt gets the ball, lost the handle briefly, puts it up on the right side. It is good, and it is a 6-point lead for the Bearcats, 12-6.
Monroe doing a nice job of finding their post player. Perfect angle down on the right block. Uses the glass nicely. Monroe in control of this game right now, Mark.
Panthers with the ball in front court. Pollock looking in outside the circle. Here she comes, going the other way. It's deflected away. Last touch by Monroe. It will be Panthers basketball. Back into the game for the Panthers will be Shaylee Harwood, and for Monroe is Emily Donnelly. Also coming in for the Panthers, returning Darian Riley. She will replace Preach. And the Panthers will inbound right baseline. It is Riley who gets set to go. It's a little bit of an errant pass there. She finally finds Bernadette Beeman back up on top to Harwood. Now Smith outside the arc, way out there. Good defense by Monroe. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Smith finally fires a desperation three. Comes off the rim, no good. And we got a push off as that ball came down. It's going to be against Monroe. It'll be their first team foul.
And a little bit of bad luck for Monroe that time as they played good defense, forced the post player, Madeline Smith, to take a long three with the shot clock winding down, and now a new 30 for Snohomish.
Right, so it is the foul on Alex Alexander, her first. There's Madeline Smith, gets the basketball, goes outside to Beeman. Beeman fired off a good shot. It got in the cone, and she got knocked down as the foul is going to be against Lauren Moore, it looks like, of the Monroe Bearcats. That's the case. That would be her first, second team foul.
I would call that.
Just go ahead and inbound right here.
It was after the shot as they're ruling on the floor.
Okay.
So Monroe got a break on that. I would call that a basketball sin to foul a three-point shooter out and block her out with the chances of her getting the rebound.
Very close as to that being a shooting foul.
Yep.
Harwood gets the basketball, passes around. Here they come. Now ending up with it will be Pollock, who drains it from right by the foul line. Snohomish really needed that. Madison gets her first 2 points of the game. Snohomish with 4 players with 2 points each.
And Pollock, the second leading scorer for Snohomish, although she does not start, but having a player that averages 12 off the bench is very valuable.
12-8, Monroe is leading this game. 1:03 left to go in the first quarter as the Bearcats throw it away. Back into the game is Alex Alexander. Coming to the bench will be Moore, and set to inbound in backcourt, Darian Riley. Panthers can get a little closer right here. Inbound pass goes to Beam and trap in backcourt. There she goes with the pass now left side, Darian Riley. Riley will come out of backcourt. Pushing hard by the NWAC logo for the Community College Everett Trojans at play here. And this time a foul as she went to the basket that time. We have a great vantage point up here, Mike. How's it standing? You're going to sit for a minute there, but this is really something up here. We were here for a game last year, and we'll be here for even more this year and beyond. This is fabulous.
Yeah, Riley has been struggling a little bit with Monroe's pressure. Nice play that time. She takes it hard to the basket, more or less coast to coast, manages to get the call on a hard foul, and she's at the free throw line. Riley needs a good game today for Snohomish to do well.
Foul was on Van Brunt. That is her first third-team foul. Riley missed the first shot. Second one is good. Her first point of the game, and it is now 12-9. Monroe had a 6-point lead at 12-0. Going in and losing the dribble is Donnelly. It's going to go out of bounds and will be Snohomish giving it up or not getting the ball back. It'll be Monroe basketball.
Yeah, Ken not happy with the call as the ball actually went off the person who
I
was
thought that was the
dribbling.
case too. They try to inbound, and Darian Riley knocks it out of bounds as the inbound pass that time came from Drisden.
Ken was asking the official there to, can you please check out the other officials' view and request denied.
Pass is going to be picked off on the inbound. Grabbed this time by Pollock. She goes length of the court with a pass to Beeman. Beeman cannot drop in a lay-in. Chases after it, and I think she's going to be called for the foul, grabbing the Monroe player.
A frustration foul there, Mark, as the tempo it's just a little bit too fast. Coach Roberts was talking about trying to get some back doors and things like that, but frantically driving down the court with the player hanging all over you, you have to be able to control that defender and slow down a little bit as you get to the basket. She didn't take advantage of that and then fouled in frustration.
Oh, there's a nice back door. This time it goes from Alex Alexander to her sister Jaden Alexander for 2 off the left side, and Monroe's got that lead back up to 5 points at 14-9. 14 seconds coming down the wire here in this quarter, first quarter action on Fox Sports 1380.
Yeah, beautiful play there. A little Elvis action. Little sister take that shot, get the layup. Nice.
Beeman to Riley. Riley, 3-ball, no. Back of the rim, getting the rebound is Alex Alexander. Time running down, and the quarter will come to an end. It is a score of 14-9. Monroe leading Snohomish after 1 quarter here on Fox Sports 1380. Second quarter coming up. It will be brought to you by the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store. Stay tuned. More on Welcome back. Snohomish County Western Conference Girls Basketball on STSPN.com and Fox Sports 1380. Mark Ockett, Mike Buckholtz, Maggie Buckholtz. Our studio producer is Brandon Hamilton. And at the end of one quarter, Monroe is leading 14-9.
Monroe with a big advantage, shooting percentage 54% from the floor, just 31 from Snohomish. There we have a that way with some contact on the illegal screen, Mark.
Yeah, that's going to be a foul call against Jaden Alexander.
I was like the emphatic that way. Actually, I don't like that, but
I think they've got the fouls way off down there, so they're getting that on the scoreboard if you look. So it's going to give it back to the Snohomish Panthers for Alexander, her fourth team foul against Monroe. Now they get it set on the scoreboard. There's a shot popped up. Ooh, tough lucker for Madison Pollock. Came out of there, and getting the rebound will be Ferreira. Here she comes out of backcourt. Making her way, weaving through, bounce pass into traffic, comes loose, who's going to get the hot potato? Finally, Snohomish ends up with it, Darian Riley. Riley with a bounce pass left side, Brandvold. Back to Riley. Riley's going to come across midcourt. Here she goes, going to work. Bounce pass to Smith. Smith looking around. Riley to Smith. Smith goes inside, blocked out of there. What a great block that time by Alex Alexander. Monroe ends up back with it. Here's Alexander on the left wing. Jumper, good! Two-ball. Wow, what a great play on both ends by Alexander. She took that pass.
Yeah, Alexander, a little bit of body contact on the block shot. Officials definitely letting them play down there, and she's got it going right now, Mark. She had a nice assist a moment ago to her little sister. There gets a block shot and then buries a jumper with the left hand over there from about 16, 17 feet.
Inbound pass coming up. Darian Riley to Harwood. Now cutting ahead will be Brandvold. Brandvold into front court, bursting hard. Here she goes, lays one up. It is going to be no good. A traveling call. Ooh, that's a tough break right there. They needed that basket. They're down by 7.
And that's what I mentioned about their attempt a little while ago where Snohomish missed because they were rushing it. She did a good job of slowing down, but there's a fundamental technique that you use, which is called a jump stop. And instead of doing that, she got the little happy feet moved and got called for the travel.
There you go. Here comes the drive by Monroe and a miss right there. But they get the rebound and getting both the shot and the rebound, Katie Bramble, or make that Kylie Ferreira. And then they miss again. Ferreira misses that shot. Riley will get the rebound and go now on the right side to Madeline Smith. Here they come with the ball. Darian Riley coming into front court. Do they need a basket right here? 6:15 left to go in the second quarter. Finally, just flinging one up this time is Harwood. No good. And Monroe will end up with the basketball. It is Ferreira in the black uniform. And finally, Matt Chalfant says, let's talk things over a little bit. Things are getting a little loose out there. We're going to take a time. Thanks for being with us on Fox Sports 1380. Again, the second quarter of tonight's game is brought to you by the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store, proud locally owned supporters of high school athletics. That's the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store. Our tip-off tonight was brought to you by Glass by Lund. Great sponsors. We will go ahead and get things started again. There's a missed shot by Alex Alexander, but again, Monroe gets the rebound. It's Hannah Drivston. Turns around and just delivers a great shot off the glass to make it 18-9. This is the biggest lead of the game for either team. 9 points, 9 big ones.
Coach Roberts mentioned that a lot of offensive rebounds by Monroe in that first game victory that Monroe had, and they're pounding the glass right now and getting second and third opportunities.
Madeline Smith to Darian Riley. Back to Smith. Smith looking around, now finds Riley outside the three-point line, way deep. Fires one, misses. Getting the board almost was Pollock, but then it ends up in the hand of the Monroe player. There they go the other way. Alexander, they go now to Ferreira. Drives in, drops a pass right side, Van Brunt. Van Brunt, no problem. 2 points, real easy, and it is 20-9. An 11-point lead for the Monroe Bearcats. Now, Monroe won the first game between these two teams by a score of 45-40. last month, and then just a few days ago in that game we broadcast here on Fox Sports 1380, it was a 33-31 victory over by the Snohomish Panthers over Monroe. So they flipped the tables with the Snohomish Panthers winning the second game after Monroe won the first game. And this one's definitely going in the way of the Monroe Bearcats, but we still got lots of time left and plenty of time for Snohomish to try to make some adjustments, Mike. And what might those adjustments be?
I would suggest that they try to slow themselves down just a little bit. They're into that frantic mode, and they're attacking the frantic defense of Monroe by being frantic themselves. So consequently, they've fired up some wild shots. They've forced themselves into some turnovers. So I just think that they need to stay with the game plan. They got a couple of early backdoors. They've had some other backdoors, and Monroe tries to block every shot. Kids need to use some pass fakes and head fakes when they get inside instead of trying to shoot the ball as quickly as they can. Slow down a little bit, use some fakes.
There you go, as the Snohomish Panthers will have the basketball. Back into the game is Emily Preach. She is a freshman, just a freshman. Keep an eye on her. She's good. Donnelly picks her up, so Preach getting some extended playing time at the latter part of the season and certainly to start things off in this one tonight, this afternoon. There's a pass up high. Getting it will be Brandvold. Now they work it around. Madeline Smith. She finds Pollock. Pollock puts up a shot, comes off the outer side of the rim. Right there down below. Getting the rebound is Preach. I told you to watch her. She puts it in for two. Oh, did Snohomish need that basket? Now it's Ferreira.
And as you notice, they did slow down a little bit, and frantically coming back the other way is Monroe, and they've turned the ball over. Snohomish has it again, Mark.
That's what I was saying earlier. Got to make those adjustments. We'll see how much this works. There's Madeline Smith having trouble with the dribble. Passes right side, finds Brandvold. Now a blocking foul is called. So you can see just off that timeout, Mike, that Snohomish was able to throw Monroe off a little bit, and sometimes that's all it takes, but you also got to hit those shots.
You need somebody running out at the point who is going to control the defender instead of allowing the defender to control the offensive player. You want the point guard to be able to control that tempo.
That's right. The foul is on Van Brunt. That is her second and the fifth team foul. Team fouls are even at 5 with 4:06 to go in the second quarter. With the basketball is Brandvold. She looks around, finds Smith. Smith's going to drive right side, shut off by a couple. Crosses one with a pass inside. No. Getting the ball a couple of times right there was Flitch. Missed both times. And then Monroe scores the rebound and throws it out of bounds. Donnelly was looking down the right side and could not find her teammate over there. She was aiming for Dribston, and it goes high and out of bounds. That's a break for the Panthers.
It is. The bad news for Snohomish is that they had a couple of shots that they should have finished, but the good news is they only lost possession for a nanosecond because they got the ball back off the turnover.
Very much a nanosecond. 20-11 is the score. 3:41 to go in the second quarter. Still anybody's game, even though Monroe has the 9-point lead, their biggest having been 11. There is Preach. Passes to Brandvold. Brandvold with the basketball. I stepped in a bit now to Smith. They're way outside, though, Mike. 8-7 seconds on the shot clock. Now down to 5. Smith gets it. Turnaround jumper off the rim, and it goes out of bounds. So they miss the opportunity right there. 3:19 left to go second quarter.
One of the things that's happening, Coach Roberts was talking about wanting to run some backdoor cuts, and what's happening is that the Snohomish players are making their backdoor cut before the passer even has the ball. So it doesn't really do any good if you go backdoor and the person who's supposed to pass it to you doesn't have the ball, so they got a timing issue.
With the ball now, Monroe in front court. Driving to the basket, Jaden Alexander, and that's what you have to do sometimes to create opportunities, and she does create an opportunity, doesn't make the basket, but she does get fouled, and we'll have 2 shots coming up, as that will be the 6th team foul against the Snohomish Panthers with 2:59 left to go in the second quarter. Foul is on Preach, her second, and Jaden Alexander, who had 4 points in the first quarter, none so far here in the second, goes to the foul line. It stays at none because she missed the first one, and the second is coming up. That is the first trip to the foul line for the Monroe Bearcats in this game.
And I was very impressed the other night with Jaden Alexander. Although she's a right-hander, she's kind of herky-jerky with what you would expect from a left-hander, and she creates a lot of havoc out there. So she does a good job as just a sophomore.
Second shot is good. Let's make it a 10-point lead for Monroe, 21-11. Snohomish will inbound. They have their work cut out for them. They got out to a 4-0 lead. Then Monroe got going, built up a 12-6 lead. There's a steal. Picking it is Donnelly. Drives to the basket, laying right side. Good. Donnelly's first 2 points of the game. 23-11, a 12-point lead for Monroe. This is their biggest lead of the game. Tight defense as Preach was trying to bring the ball out of backcourt, and just a great hustle once again by Emily Donnelly. She's going to be called for the foul, her first, and that is the 16th foul, Mike, against Monroe.
Yeah, Donnelly doing a good job pressuring the ball, and she has kind of a knack of figuring out when the dribble's going to go down and then attacking. Got the steal the first time. That time she got two hands on the player and got called for the foul.
With the basketball, Snohomish in front court. Preach, they work it around now. This time it was Flitch going over on the left side, trying to find Harwood and threw it too high over to where there's a bunch of fans for Monroe. It's 23-11, a 12-point lead, and the Bearcats get the ball back.
Yeah, there was somebody open there, wide open on the wing. Unfortunately, it was a cheerleader from Monroe, and so that doesn't do Snohomish any good.
That's correct. So there they go. The Monroe Bearcats will have the basketball coming out of backcourt now. 2:17 to go in the second quarter. Thrown in towards Alex Alexander. Lost the handle. Now gets it back. Goes to Lauren Moore. This time Ferreira gets it outside the arc, right side on the wing. Passes right to Jaden Alexander. Driving in towards the lane all the way left-handed. Puts it up. No good. Plenty of Panthers there. Getting the board is Preach. Preach ends up with a basketball. I have a player down for Monroe, and that is Jaden Alexander, as they're going to pull her out of the game. She's limping. Hopefully Jaden will be okay. She's really impressed us from what we've seen so far. The sophomore averaging 9.8 points per game. 1:58 to go, Mike, here in the second quarter. 23-11.
Very much an energy player, so Monroe's going to hope to get her back. Monroe has changed their defense. They're getting a little bit fatigued, but they're still pressuring the ball full court. But in terms of the full court man-to-man defense, that has backed off a little bit and has allowed Snohomish to slow down a little.
Madison Pollock firing one right by the three-point line. No, that's not going to go. Here comes Donnelly the other way. Great bounce pass in the middle. And getting the pass that time was Alex Alexander. Got hacked on the way in, so she's got two shots coming, and that'll be the seventh team foul against the Panthers. The foul is on Pollock, her second.
Yeah, Pollock struggling a little bit here in this game, not having quite the game that she had the other night. Sends Alexander to the line for a couple of left-handed free throws.
Misses the first one. Couple of bounces on the rim that time. Alex Alexander with 6 points in this one. Her sister Jaden has 5. The second shot is good. Now 7 points for one of the two Alexanders there.
And right away, Monroe jumps back into that full court man-to-man, but they clear it out and just leave it for Riley of Snohomish to bring the ball up, forces the back door.
And they lose the ball out of bounds. It'll be Monroe getting it back. They're up to a 13-point lead. This is their biggest lead of the game with 1:25 to go in the second quarter. We'll have halftime with take a look at recapping the first half stats and a preview of the second half. Harwood goes the other way, lays it up off the front of the rim. Blown opportunity there as Dresden will get the rebound. You got to close on those. I mean, she had it.
A little bit too fast, and again, long jump instead of high jump. You got to slow down and attack the rim instead of leaping back underneath, and that's hurting Snohomish, playing just a little bit too fast.
55 seconds left as Monroe lost it, now gets it back. Driving is Alex Alexander. Reverse left on the right side, coming through from left, and builds it up. 15-point lead, 26-11. Oh my. There is Harwood driving to the basket, flings it up there, no good, and we got a foul after the shot as they go for the basketball. This looks to be against Monroe, and it would be 1-1 because this would be team foul number 7.
Monroe, again, just relentless with their defense, but that time they got called for the foul. However, as I look out, I see a lot of Monroe players with their hands on their hips, and they have expended an absolute ton of energy with that intense defensive pressure here in the first half. So we're going to have to see how that translates into whether they're going to be able to finish this game strong in the second half.
There you go. I want to mention, too, that we'll have updates of our games throughout the postseason, and those will be on Twitter and also on Facebook on the KRKO pages and locations there. Check them out on Facebook and Twitter as Brenda Felder helps us post those. Does a great job with that. And at the foul line is Shaylee Harwood. She hits them both. Now has 4 points in the game. Snohomish is 3 for 4 from the foul line. 32 seconds left. 26-13 as Monroe leads by 13 points here, and they work it into front court. Lots of time on the shot clock, Mike.
Yeah, there is, but Monroe's not real patient at the offensive end, but they're still being effective.
Donald, a two-pointer off the right side from 16 feet out. 28-13, a 15-point lead, matches their biggest of the game. Snohomish in front court. Smith now passes right side. Harwood had a little trouble with it. 4 seconds in the quarter. Pass over on the left. That's going to be Brambold missing a shot, and Monroe will get the rebound. Not a good first half for the Snohomish Panthers. However, a very positive first half for the Monroe Bearcats as they are the lower seed, and these teams even at 1 game apiece in their season series. We're at halftime here in the first game of our broadcast doubleheader featuring the Snohomish Panthers and the Monroe Bearcats. Monroe is leading by a score of 28-13. Halftime is going to be brought to you by Erickson Furniture for the best seats in the game. That is Erickson Furniture. We are broadcasting live from this show place. It's fantastic. The Everett Community College Gymnasium and also a big hill to climb to get out of this one. They're down by 5 possessions at least, and so this is not easy thus far, but that's what halftime is for, to kind of talk things over, Mike.
I thought Snohomish came out with a pretty good game plan because Monroe's defense is so relentless. They do a lot of overplaying on the wings with good ball pressure, and Coach Roberts had his talls come out to the high post and tried to get some backdoor cuts. They got one immediately in the game, hit 2 of their first 3 shots, But after that, the timing just took off and went on vacation. Consequently, Snohomish only shot 1 of 10 in the second quarter. They got some steals, but were unable to finish. I think the tempo of the game has just caused Snohomish to be much more frantic than they need to play. I don't think they're quite so used to that. Monroe, you got to credit Monroe with a good defensive effort so far, and their defense has also led to a lot of good transition baskets from Monroe.
Yeah, this is the first game of our doubleheader here tonight. I want to mention that halftime is brought to you by Erickson Furniture for the best seats in the game, and this place has just got more and more goodies in it. They got a stairway going down to classrooms right behind us. They drop down electronically shades behind us to kind of shield us. The sun's out. They kind of shifted gears there a little while ago, so it's not as bright behind us, but this here at Everett Community College is ideal. I want to thank Larry Walker and Nate Duchesne for doing such a fabulous job getting us all set up with a phone line and making us feel right at home up here as I got here a couple hours before game time and really felt comfortable getting everything all set up. Frank Foster, our good friend who does sidelines for Fox Sports 1380 and was with me as a color announcer for 7 years, is doing public address here, so it's great to see Frank courtside as well. Let's take a break. We'll come back, look at the stats, and have the second half for you here on Fox Sports 1380 as well. Quarter for the Panthers. They trailed 14-9 at the end of the first quarter. Monroe really getting going in that second quarter as well as they outscored Snohomish 15-4 and make that 14-4. They've scored 14 points in each of the first two quarters. Scoring-wise, Alex Alexander with 9 points to lead Monroe. Also 5 points for Jaden Alexander, so the Alexander sisters accounting for 14 of the points. 4 for Kylie Ferreira, the senior. Emily Donnelly, the junior, with 4 points. 4 for senior Amber Van Brunt, and junior Hannah Drivston has 2 points. The
Panthers first quarter and just 1 of 11 in the second quarter. Overall, that's 21%, and that's obviously one of the reasons why they are trailing by 15 points. Monroe, 7 of 13 in the first quarter, blistering 6 of 10 for 60% in the second quarter. Overall, 56%. So that is a pretty obvious statistic. Rebounds, taking a look at Snohomish first. 11 overall rebounds, 7 of those on the offensive end. Unfortunately for Snohomish, they've only finished on 1 offensive rebound. Just 3 assists for Snohomish, 5 steals. Again, had some opportunities for some breakaway layups, have not finished. 6 turnovers. For the Monroe Bearcats, 19 rebounds, so they're out rebounding Snohomish 19-11. 6 at the offensive end. Leading rebounder is Alex Alexander with 5 assists. There could have been a couple.
Start of the second half. Everything timed out perfectly. There is now the Panthers in their white uniforms will be going from our right to left. Monroe sets up defensively in their black uniforms with orange numbers and letters, and they got some white trim in there as well. 28-13 is Snohomish with the ball and trailing by 15 points. Big quarter coming up right here for them. Want to mention the third quarter is brought to you by WescoAthletics.com. WescoAthletics.com bringing you the third quarter. We got a foul here early on in the second half. This will go against the Monroe Bearcats. It is Emily Donnelly, her second first team foul.
With not much time left on the shot clock. Super out of bounds play and layup by Harwood off the out of bounds there, Mark.
Yeah, that was Riley with the inbound pass to Harwood, and then a reverse land on the left side coming from the right by Harwood is going the other way. Monroe misses a shot. Snohomish gets a rebound. And they've just got to be patient and chip away. And now it is Riley getting picked by Donnelly. Goes to the basket, lays it in, comes off the basket, off the right side of the rim, and she's going to be fouled.
And Riley got picked, but actually she made a good play there because Donnelly had a chance for a wide open layup, and she got enough contact to make her miss the shot and send her to the free throw line, make her earn those from the line.
First foul shot is good by Donnelly. The foul was on Riley. Her second first team foul. Team fouls even at 1. 7:15 left to go third quarter.
Monroe has settled in on that. Let's pressure the point guard of Snohomish and take time off the clock and see if we can get her to turn the ball over. And they got Donnelly out there, and she's a tough one-on-one defender.
First foul shot was good by Donnelly. The second one was not good. Snohomish with the basketball in front court. Darian Riley between the circles. Looks over, passes left side to Harwood. To Madeline Smith. Gets a step, and that's all she needed on her opponent. Pops it in for 2. 29-17.
And it looks like Snohomish has went back to their more typical defense of putting Madison Smith, let her operate in the key, and they got a big finish on the shot by Smith that time.
Donnelly with the basketball between the circles. Guarded by Brandvold. Now passes over on the right side. Drivston back up top. 10 on the shot clock. They go inside. Van Brunt has that one come off. Smith going for the rebound. And finally it will be Flitch who ends up with the board. And she'll leave it back for Brandvold. Here comes Snohomish. Can cut it to a 9 or 10 point deficit depending on how they do this time down. There's Flitch in front court looking inside. Everybody's up pretty high. She'll pass right side. Riley finds a bit of a break there. Goes through, loses the ball. It goes out of bounds, and last touch by Monroe barely. It will be Panthers basketball with 6:07 to go, third quarter.
Definitely some contact on that play. The official decided not to bail the player out who she was trying to draw the foul. Instead, Snohomish has the ball out of bounds.
Madeline Smith gets the rock, double teamed up high. Riley comes off the back of the rim. Getting the board is Ferreira. Here she comes. Quickly out of backcourt, the senior. Looks left with the pass to Alex Alexander. Now Drivston. They go inside. Van Brunt steps in. I think we're going to have an offensive foul on her. That's true. Yep.
That's a big foul on Van Brunt because she's the main defender down on the post who paddles Madeline Smith, and that's her third foul, Mark.
It is. She's got 3 fouls, second team foul. Snohomish making a sub in there. Preach will come back in the game.
That brings Lauren Moore in for Monroe. Now she'll be battling Madeline Smith down low. So going to be interesting. Foul trouble might play a part in this.
Madeline Smith with a pass over on the right side, getting the ball Harwood, and you got Ferreira riding her tight. It's going to be a foul on Ferreira, which for Kylie will be her first and the third team foul.
Now, I think some of these fouls are happening because Monroe's a little bit tired. They expended a ton of injury getting that energy in that 15-point lead, and now they've lost some of their balance, and it's led to some fouls.
Flitch with the ball outside. This time Harwood gets it past the arc, drives in, goes to the basket, doesn't make the shot, but she does get fouled. That'll send her to the line with 2 shots. The foul is going to be against Alex Alexander. For Alex, that will be her second foul, 4th team foul. And Mike, again, with this fatigue factor you've mentioned, that becomes a big indicator when you start seeing those foul shots come along or those fouls on the board. The Monroe Bearcats, as Harwood missed the first foul shot, and that's the other side of the equation. You have to make those foul shots.
And if you take a look, you see the Monroe players, and they got their hands on their hips, and they're breathing hard. They did expend a lot of energy in the first half.
Wow, she missed them both. Wow, that's tough right there. They could have closed it to 10 points, and getting the rebound is Donnelly. Donnelly in the front court now, passes to Alex Alexander, to Ferreira. Back on top, Drivston, 3-ball, no good. Getting the rebound is Brandvold. Brandvold, the sophomore, will work it out of backcourt. 5:07 to go, third quarter, 29-17. Monroe leading by 12 points. Their biggest lead has been 15. They led throughout most of this game. In front court, there's Preach, loses the handle, and it's going to be Monroe basketball. She just could not contain it. It's picked up by Drivston, comes into front court. Ferreira over on the left side. Alex Alexander now to Donnelly. Drivston, right side. Ferreira goes inside to Moore. Moore with a shot, no good. Snohomish boards it. That's going to be Brandvold. Brandvold will come out of backcourt. 4:34 left to go in the third quarter. 29-17. Yes, Snohomish can come back, but time starts to become a factor the more it ticks off the clock.
And again, tough defensive pressure, but Snohomish able to get into their man-to-man sets on offense and control a little bit of tempo here, but they have to finish.
Goes inside to Smith, now to Harwood. Fires one up with a hand on it. No, that's going to be finally 2 players going for it. It's Harwood coming in tight, and she's going to be whistled for the foul as Donnelly had the ball and Harwood got on her. Harwood's called for her third foul, Mike, and that is the second team foul.
And also a very, very aggressive play. We got some bodies flying all over the place. One of the things that's happening is that Snohomish is passing up those longer shots out there. They're open for that, and instead they're putting their heads down, driving into traffic. Well, you know, they're trying to get to the rim, but they're not finishing. So they need somebody who can knock down that medium-range shot.
Here we go. Driving the other direction is Monroe. And right there is Madeline Smith. I believe she's going to be called for the foul. I thought she got all ball. And driving to the basket that time for Monroe was Kylie Ferreira.
And I think Ferreira did a really great job of drawing that foul. Excellent play. Ferreira goes flying. Ferreira at 5'3". Madeline Smith at 6 foot. Ferreira a little bit out of control. And the reason I would have a problem with that call is because those are the calls they've been letting go early on, and now all of a sudden they make it.
Well, the foul was on Smith, her first, and that is the third team foul against Snohomish here in the second half. Monroe has 4. Monroe has taken a after Donnelly made the first foul shot, so she will get a second one. Or make that Ferreira made the first foul shot. She will get a second one. And so the score is 29-17.
Right, and although the tempo has favored Snohomish has gained a little bit of control. They've still been unable to finish, so they've cut that 15-point lead down to 12. They've made a little bit of ground up, but that's about it.
So here we are. It is 29-17 the score here in the third quarter, brought to you by WescoAthletics.com. Find out what you're looking for on WescoAthletics.com when it comes to Wesco Athletics. And right now I've got the district tournament brackets in front of me for the 4A girls. We're going to have the boys game coming up after this. There's also another girls game after that at 6:15 featuring Jackson and Lake Stevens in the other district semi.
Talking about the hot shooting that Monroe had in the first half, they shot 56% in the first half, and they are 0 for 4 from the floor here, although they've had some free throw makes.
All right, at the foul line is Ferreira. Ferreira eyes the hoop, shot on the way, comes off the rim, no good. It stays at 29-17.
Both teams still playing man-to-man defense. Snohomish able to set up their man-to-man offense.
With the basketball, Snohomish, they lost it inside a little bit. Harwood, now they work it outside and keeping the basketball. This time it is Pollock had the ball. Another foul is going to be called on a push-off against the Monroe Bearcats. I believe that's against Drivsden.
And
that's the call.
We could be in the 1-and-1 here pretty quick. And as I mentioned, the coaches try to make their adjustments too. The officials will also get together and say, hey, let's clean up some of these body fouls we let go early.
Madeline Smith goes inside under the basket, puts a shot up. It is not going to be a make, but Lauren Moore will be called for the foul. And that's going to be her second foul. And here they go with Moore, Mike, sixth team foul. Snohomish has 3.
And that's one of my least favorite shots. She was way under the basket and just turned and hucked the thing up underneath, hit underneath the backboard. Madeline Smith lucky to get the foul drawn, but as I mentioned, if I'm on the bench, I'm saying to my players, hey, we got to adjust to what the officials are doing here. So far, Snohomish has adjusted, Monroe not so much.
Smith missed the first one, makes the second one. They are 1 for 4 from the foul line here in the second half. 29-18, at least Snohomish gets a point. Moore trying inside, and it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Panthers.
The Panthers jumped into a 1-3-1 trap that time. Mark playing a little bit of zone, seeing if they can disrupt the offense of the Bearcats here a little bit.
There we go. It's Monroe with the basketball. Losing it is Ferreira. Goes back and forth, over and back. Turnover against the Bearcats as Snohomish will get it back.
Yeah, pressure on the point guard. That's been the forte of the Monroe Bearcats so far, but this time Snohomish Panthers out there playing a little bit of pressure defense. Credit Emily Preach with doing a good job on the defensive pressure out there, forcing the turnover.
I want to mention, too, that the final game of the day here will be at 8 o'clock. That features the Cascade Bruins and the Jackson Timberwolves in boys basketball. So it's girl, boy, girl, boy. We've got the first 2, but more even after that. So, and we will have more games coming up throughout the week. Many of them from right here at Everett Community College. There at the basketball is Madeline Smith. Turnaround jumper is not going to go. Making the play for the rebound, Monroe Bearcats, as they come out of backcourt.
Yeah, Smith with that shot that we used to say, what I said last week, looked a little bit like old former Supersonic Jack Sigma, off target that time, but she shoots pretty well, averages in double figures.
Monroe threw it away. Snohomish gets it. Now they're in front court. 17 on the shot clock. Madison Pollock spin move towards the three-point arc, and she's going to be fouled. Gets grabbed by Monroe.
And as I mentioned, all of the pushing and shoving and grabbing that was going on in the first half by both teams is now being called by the officials. And I think I mentioned about a minute or so earlier that we're going to be in the 1-and-1 here pretty soon. And sure enough, here we are, being down 11 points. These are continuously big free throws for the Snohomish Panthers.
Foul indication, Alex Alexander, that is would be her third. Let's check and see for sure. But I know it is the 7th team foul, and a miss on the foul shot. They could not get it done again.
Yeah, front of a 1-on-1, that's a potential 2 points there that is left out there on the court.
With the basketball in front court now, Monroe Bearcats, here they go, working it around the perimeter. Katie Pyman came in, and she passed outside to Drivsden, who misses a long shot. Just sitting at 29-18. Again, a great opportunity for the Panthers to climb right back into this game. There's Preach, pass right side. Brandvold to Preach. Preach with the basketball. Coming for her is Pollock, goes to Smith. Gets it, double team, puts it on the floor, goes to the basket. Double teamed, it's deflected away. Good hands right there by Pylan, as Smith will get it back. 5 on the shot clock, and a three. As Smith found Brandon outside, it is good, and it's 29-21, down to an 8-point lead for the Bearcats with 1:40 to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, big break for Snohomish. Excellent defense by the Bearcats, and they end up giving up a 3 to Snohomish.
There's a pick, and driving with the basketball after stealing it. Pollock misses the shot, getting the rebound. It will be Monroe. It is Donnelly going to come out of backcourt. Harwood on her, tries to steal. Now Donnelly goes right side with a pass to Pylan. Pylan goes to the basket and gets fouled. 2 shots coming up for her, for Katie, the junior.
Frankly, I didn't see a foul on that. The referees that tightened up said that she pushed her. Looked to me like Pollock got over there and made a clean block. There was no up fake. Everything was all ball, but have you noticed a difference in the way the game's being called now by the officials?
Yeah.
Very much tightened it up.
At the foul line, Pyland misses the first shot. The foul that time was on Pollock, her third, and the 14th foul. Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say swallowed the whistles in the first half, and now all of a sudden they changed the game. So, I would like to see maybe a little bit of it the other way around, call a little tighter early and then relax it a little bit. But that's the way it's going.
Pyland misses the second foul shot. Smith with the rebound. Officials in this game, Chad Gallagher, Ryan Taylor, and Dave Linder. Snohomish with the ball in front court, trailing by 8. This is a big possession. Getting it to Smith on the give and go. Good ball. Off the right side on the give and go to Darian Riley, as Madeline now has 5 in the quarter, 7 in the game, 29-23. Timeout, Monroe Bearcats will take a timeout as well. Now have their lead down to 6 points. They led by as much as 15 points. This is Snohomish County Western Conference Girls Basketball on STSPN.com and Fox Sports. After 29-3, Monroe is leading in this district semifinal game here at Everett Community College, where you can stay close and go far. We are really enjoying our vantage point up here, and we got more coming up throughout the week, also coming up on Tuesday at Jackson High School. Inbound pass, Monroe with the ball, up by 6, less than a minute to go in the third quarter. They have the ball. Drivston to Donnelly, left side, picked up defensively by Bramble. Up top to Alex Alexander, dribbled, now fires up a shot. That was big. Drops it in for 2. Has her first 2 of the half. 11 in the game. Snohomish with the ball. Riley got a wide open Flitch on the end. There she goes by the basket as Riley finds her, and Flitch puts it in from the right side off the glass. 31-25. We've got us a game here now.
Defensive breakdown that time by Monroe and breaking pressure. Nobody picked up Flynch the other way. Looks like we got an illegal screen on this play.
Oh, boy, that's a tough break against the Monroe Bearcats. They made a mistake right there, as the foul is going to be on Donnelly, her third, 8th team foul. Harwood coming back into the game, and sitting down looks to be Madison Pollock. 31-25. Of course, we'll have the selection of the Papa Murphy's play and turning point of the game, and they'll get a play of the game and turning point of the game hat from Papa Murphy's. Also, the player of the game selection from Skagit Bank, and a T-shirt from Screen Printing Northwest doing the printing on that.
18.6 on the game clock and on the shooting clock as well. So Snohomish really should take the last shot of the quarter here. I'm not sure who has the arrow, but you want to get the last shot.
Well, there they go. 9 seconds on the clock. Here we go in the quarter. Riley to Smith. Got a step. Turns around. Put it on the floor. Put it in! Madeline Baker. 4 points. 31-20. Oh, a great fourth quarter coming up. Just like on Tuesday night at Monroe, when it was the Monroe Bearcats and the Panthers playing there, and the Panthers came up with a 2-point victory, 33-31. We got the fourth quarter coming up. Stay tuned right here on Fox Sports 1380 and STSPN. Community College. Mark Ockett along with Mike Buckholtz and Maggie Buckholtz. 31-27 as Snohomish has cut a 15-point deficit down to 4. Makes for a great fourth quarter of action coming your way. With the basketball is Monroe. They go into front court. Drivsden misses a shot. Snohomish fighting for it along with Monroe, and it's going to be Brandvold getting the rebound. She will give it to Harwood. Harwood with 6 points in the game. Big quarter for Madeline Smith in the third. She had a total of 7 there and 9 for the game. Snohomish in the white uniforms going from our right to left. Madeline Smith gets it down low. Misses the shot off the pass. Brandvold, Mike, but Madeline gets fouled.
Well, I've seen a couple of things, adjustments that Snohomish has made. Number one, on the defensive end, they're playing a 1-3-1 half-court trap, and that's forced Monroe to shoot from outside, and they've been cold from outside. The other thing is that they went back to more of the regular offense with Madeline Smith roaming the post, and so Snohomish moving the ball around the outside, see if they could find Smith inside, and they've been doing that. She drew the foul that time, and but free throw is going to be big.
Missed the first one. Second one coming up by Madeline, and it's off the rim. No, geez.
That's 4 in a row for Snohomish missing, I think, from the line.
Not good. They are 4 for 10 from the foul line. Time defense near midcourt. Donnelly had the ball up on her. A couple of players, including Brandvold and another Panther, as the foul is coming up. That's going to be against Harwood. Her 4th foul, and that is the 5th team foul. No shots on this, but still, 4 fouls on her. Looking at the tally, Monroe has 3 players with 3 fouls on them. Van Brunt, Alex Alexander, and Emily Donnelly. Snohomish with the 4 on Harwood and 3 against Madison Pollock. 31-27.
Snohomish, so staying with that 1-3-1 half-court trap, it's causing problems for Monroe. They're not quite sure how to handle this.
Monroe with the ball. Donnelly up top. She finds Ferreira. 3-ball off the rim. Here they go. It is a rebound by Brandvold. And they work it out of backcourt now. 6:50 to go in the fourth quarter. 31-27 on Fox Sports 1380 and STSPN.com.
Snohomish not doing a good job of spreading the court, running a right corner swarm now. They're all over the side. Coach Roberts sees it, doesn't like it, and he calls timeout, Mark.
Timeout. We're going to take a timeout as well. This is a 4-point game. District semifinal. The next game is girls Lake Stevens and Jackson. Winner of that plays on Thursday night for the district championship and getting a seed into the regional tournament. 31-27, and we'll be back with more. This is Snohomish County Western Conference girls basketball on STS. More. Sorry about that. Go ahead. 33-31 as Snohomish has come back, cut it to a 2-point deficit. Sorry we lost you on a signal problem there, but we're back now. 3:43 to go here in the fourth quarter as Snohomish down by 2 points. Mark Ock and Mike Buckholtz on Fox Sports 1380, also on STSPN. And Monroe with the basketball in front court. They pass it around, and it's going to be Van Brunt going for a basket, Mike, but she gets fouled.
She does, and that foul's by Pollock, as Monroe has really had a difficult time trying to get the ball inside. They finally do to Van Brunt, and she's going to the free throw line. I think that's 4 on Pollock.
Go ahead. Oh, you don't hear yourself? Okay, go ahead. We're on.
Van Brunt misses her first free throw. Snohomish full court pressure with the 1-3-1 half-court trap.
Okay, so we have Van Brunt at the foul line, misses the first foul shot. Next one is on the way, and it is off the back of the rim, no good. The foul that time was on Pollock, her first. You don't hear yourself?
Can't hear anything from me, but that's okay. Maybe I don't need to hear myself.
I don't know what that problem is, so we just suddenly lost you there.
All right.
So you can put one cone off there, and maybe you can hear me talking in the background.
Yeah, I can a little bit. Yeah, so we're good. Monroe gets the offensive rebound off the miss and running their offense against the man-to-man defense.
With the basketball, it is the Monroe Bearcats up by 2 points, 33-31, here on Fox Sports 1380 and STSPN.com. Getting it back? Nothing? All right, we'll work on that.
Okay.
So Monroe with the ball in front court. Donnelly with the basketball. She goes to drive for the basket and missed a shot. Snohomish ends up with it. They're going to come the other direction.
Snohomish changing up their defenses. Donnelly, open shot, missed it badly. Gives Snohomish a big opportunity here.
They drive. Smith for the basket. She makes the basket and is fouled.
Triangle set that time by the Snohomish Panthers. Madeline Smith at the high post. Ball goes to the corner, sliding her down to the block. Hard at the fine layup. The help a little bit late for a 3-point play. Mark. We tie game here.
Tie game, and Van Brunt has fouled out. That is her 5th foul. You hear us okay now, Mike?
I can hear fine.
Okay, perfect. That's what we're looking for.
Well, we got a tie game, as I mentioned, a little triangle. Snohomish has been going back to the more traditional offense of pounding the ball inside. Monroe double teaming, but that time the double team late. Smith once again at the foul line, Mark.
With the foul is Smith, misses on that. She's 0 for 3 from the line here in the quarter. Tie 33 as they have erased a 15-point deficit. Wow, that's incredible.
Free throws not being kind to the Snohomish Panthers. Now the Snohomish Panthers are extending their defense to try to pressure up on Monroe. Back to man-to-man.
Well, here we go. It is going to be a timeout called by Snohomish. 33-33, 2:31 left here in the fourth quarter. We're going to take it back to our station, and we'll be back with more right here. God, get to me soon. I mean, this is so nerve-wracking when you're calling a game at a high and this stupid tie line goes down. It's just frustrating. I get tired of it. You know, I can't watch it all the time when I'm watching a game. I wish we'd get a wireless tie line system so that we can.
So what was the issue?
I have no idea about that, Mike. I just unhooked it. 33-33 is the score. 10 fouls have been called against the Monroe Bearcats, 6 against Snohomish, and it's a tie game, 33 apiece on Fox Sports 1380. Wow, this is some kind of game right here.
Snohomish jumps back into their man-to-man. They were playing 1-3-1 for a while, and now we have some more physical contact out there. Bodies go flying.
And they have the knockdown right there. As the ball is knocked out of bounds, and it will be Snohomish ball game at 33-33.
Illegal screen set away from the ball. Monroe ran over the screener, and
it's Monroe just setting up on defense, and Snohomish has the ball in front court. 33-33 the score. Darian Wright with the basketball. She's looking over, goes inside. That's Pollock, gets the pass, drives the basket, puts it in! And Snohomish has come back and taken the lead at 35-33. Can you believe this? Monroe is totally flat, losing the basketball. Alex Alexander goes out.
And Monroe now at the minute 54 to go does not really have a choice. They are going to need to get into their full court pressure and see if they can create a turnover or a bad shooting opportunity for Snohomish.
And the inbound pass is nearly picked up. Traveling against Snohomish. That is going to be on Shaylee Hard. Turning it over to Monroe. Snohomish 33, 1:55 left to go in the fourth quarter.
A lot of pressure. I called the opportunity for a turnover. I wish I could do that in the lottery.
Inbound pass. Thrown away. There's Riley. It off. Drives to the basket. Lays it up. And they were down by 15 points. And they've just running back. They trailed at 28-13 at half. And since that time, they've outscored them 24-5.
And I mentioned earlier in the first half, Riley needed to have a good game, and she's certainly doing that in the second half.
And we've got foul as the Monroe player Donnelly goes to the basket. Foul is going to be whistled against Snohomish. This is just an amazing turnabout.
Well, Monroe, now it's up to the Monroe to see if they can make their free throws, having to be trailing, and the clock stopped. They need to make them, and sure enough, Donnelly, who's been a really tough player for them, Mark, money at the free throw line there.
So at the foul line is Donnelly making the first foul shot. She's got 6 points in the game, 7 now as she makes the second one.
Monroe jumps in again to their tough man-to-man, full court pressure, run and jump, trying to trap all over the floor.
Ball goes out of bounds, last touched by the Monroe Bearcats. 2-point game, 37-35. Snohomish up the deuce. They inbound. It is Harwood to Riley coming into front court, nearly knocked away, and finally a bit of an over by Monroe.
Going to be a foul on Riley. She lost the ball and then did that infamous judo chop, as I like to call it.
The judo chop, there it comes.
Yeah, trying to get the ball back, and so take a little note that she knocked down Kylie Ferrara, who's definitely playing very, very hard, and she's shaking up a little bit, Mark.
So going to the foul line.
Oh, I thought it was good.
Donnelly was going to go, but they're going to switch off. Yeah, here. I mean, she thought she was going to go too, so now they're going to go the other way, and it'll be Ferreira going to the line. She is 0 for 2 from the foul line, has 4 points in the game.
And the referees then huddle up, and of course, as a free throw shooter, as a senior veteran, she backs up, tries to gather herself before she steps to the line.
At the foul line, Ferreira will miss that shot, and that's all she's going to get. Rebound, Smith. Now she goes to Harwood. 1:13, now 12 to go in the fourth quarter. Ferreira on Harwood. Tight defense there. Finally, we have a whistle and a timeout, a full timeout called by Ken Roberts and the Snohomish Panthers right here on Fox Sports 1380 and STS. 37-35 right now. Mike, we've got a full timeout for the Snohomish Panthers.
One thing I've noticed defensively that Monroe has done with their scouting reports is they are definitely doing a good job of closing out to the strong hands of the Snohomish players. So Harwood really dribbled to the right, and Ferrara did a great job taking that away. She tried to go right, pinned her over on the sideline. Coach Roberts forced to call a timeout to avoid the turnover there. Minute to go, Mark.
Here we go. Snohomish will inbound. It is Riley with the basketball. Darian playing with 3 fouls on her. And, oh, what great defense by Donnelly. Steals it away from Riley. And right there looked like she stabbed.
I said double
dribble, okay.
Touched the ball with 2 hands and dropped it and then gained control.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a call I can talk about later when we have opportunity. It's always baffled me, but nevertheless, there's a foul, which Monroe's going to have to do.
About Harwood, she gets hooked.
I don't understand that call, but...
That's on Donnelly. It'll be her 4th. 2 shots up for Harwood. Snohomish leads by 2 points, 37-35.
To be fair, I thought Riley actually got fouled with a lot of contact when she lost that ball anyway.
With the shot. That's going to bounce back of the rim. It is getting it. Now has points in the game and is 3 for 5 from the foul line. Next one coming up. It is off the back of the rim. 38-35. Snohomish leading. 54 left here in the fourth quarter. 38-35. Donald. Basketball coming into front court in a black uniform. Passes up top. She finds Alex Alexander. Drives to the basket. No good. Madeline Smith. Rebound. Snohomish with the basketball. She gets grabbed with 38 seconds left on the clock. Here in the quarter. How about this?
And I think that was a great find by Donnelly to get the ball to Alex Alexander, who had a super first half. She drove strongly to the basket. Unfortunately for her, unable to finish. She's had a really good game, and with the lead being 3 and the rebound, Bearcats forced a foul. We got Madeline Smith at the line.
3 fouls on Dribston. Double bonus, and makes the first foul shot. Madeline Smith finally on a foul shot. She has 7 points in this quarter, 7 points last quarter, 16 in the game. This is a big foul shot right here. Gives it a clear 2-possession advantage. There you go. Makes it.
Yeah, they need a 2 and a 3, and so whichever order that it happens to come up, there's the 3 attempts.
Donnelly Smith with the rebound. Flung that one up. And there comes Snohomish now the other direction with the basketball. Smith gets it in front court. Looks over left side to Hart. Now finally, Smith is going to be fouled by Donnelly, so Donnelly will be called. I think that's number 5 on his. Earlier, Van Brunt fouled out. Smith will go to the foul line. Hey, Mike, we need to look ahead and see about getting a couple of people up here. Our Papa Murphy's play and turning point of the game player, and also our Skagit Bank player game. So think ahead on that. Snohomish on top right now. This is not cinched. Well, Smith makes the first foul shot.
Yeah, and I definitely have some players in mind, and I've been making some notes of players from both teams, and quite a dramatic turnaround for Snohomish. So certainly the wheels are turning, and I got some definitive candidates here.
There Smith misses the second one. It's 41-35, 2-possession game. In front court, Dribston. Dribston now goes to Ferreira. Ferreira goes after the ball, loses it out of bounds. Snohomish ball.
Well, again, the tempo has now changed so that Monroe is being frantic, not feeling for the top enemy. Somebody's going to be back in the line. Looks like it's going to be Smith here.
Inbounds goes to Smith.
And we can warm up the bus because with 7 seconds to go, this is all but sealed.
Foul is on Lauren Moore. Will be number 3 on her as Smith goes to the line once again. Shot on the way off the rim. Well, they're missing shots, but it really isn't going to matter at this point. 7 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Looks like the game is Snohomish is going to miraculously win this game after trailing by 15 a couple of times. The second shot is good by Madeline. 42-35. 7-point lead, 2 seconds, 1 second, and the shot at the buzzer, no good. Snohomish, but a miracle, comes back and wins this game 42-35 as they the championship come on Thursday at, we'll have it right here on Fox 1380. That'll be right here at 6:15. They will play for the district championship. Mike, we're going to run a post-game show. If you don't mind going downstairs, or Maggie, well, we'll have you do it. And see, okay, that's great. We need to find out, first of all, Mike, find out who selections, who you like for player of the game and also play of the game. So I have my thoughts on that as well. I know who do you like as far as the player of the game and the play of the game. So Madeline Smith for something here. Is that going to be player of the game?
I got Madeline Smith as a player of the game.
Perfect.
And for the turning point of the game, I have Darian Riley, who did an outstanding job playing the point as
and Ken Roberts, basketball coach Ken Roberts, will try to get him up here as well. And so let's take a break, and then we'll come back and reload. Be ready to go. Again, our final score, Snohomish 42 and Monroe 35. Girls basketball still a lot to play in a loser out, winner stays alive game coming up here. We'll get that for you a little bit later on, and we'll be back with more right here on Fox Sports 13.